Ashes to Equestria. By Pedro Paramo. Prologue. Portal, too strong. And again, here I go, through a wormhole to another world. Ash reflects on his past, with a dead stare contemplating the bright colors of the portal. The thing is, all I wanted, is to spend a good weekend with my girlfriend, Linda. But instead, I got this. I get sent to different dimensions, worlds, planets, etc. etc. Just because some random lunatic will summon me to do their dirty work. That book, that damn book. It appears to exist literally everywhere. You mean to say what book? Well, let me give you a small introduction. The Necronomicon Ex Mortis, a book made off human flesh, or whatever that world has, and written in blood, which contains incantations, spells, rituals, summons, opens time vortexes, you name it. The book has everything your heart may desire. And you know what? There's a spell to invoke me. I've tried everything to get rid of the book, burn it, destroy it, throw it into the sea. But nothing works. There are other worlds, where the book exists. My only joy is kicking ass. Someday, I will break free, I hope. Chapter 1. A strange man lands on Equestria. A big portal opens from the skies, letting Ash fall into the dirt, which sends instant pain to his body. This man, all dirty, a long beard accumulating through the ears. His clothes all rags like a vagabond. Despite this, he's muscular. Trying to calm the pain. He rubs his entire head, filling his dirty, greasy hair. Grumbling, he says, "Ouch. Damn portals, they always open from the sky." The night is coming quickly as the sun leaves room for the moon. He regains himself, and takes a look at his surroundings. Oh, for God's sake, as his previous summons have given him any hint. For one, it always left him far from civilizations and his summoner. 2, he falls right into action. This was really bad luck. He's in a cemetery, where the Eva usually took his army. The fog covers the graveyards as the moon gets into its final movement. Only then is when the tombstones begin to fly into the skies, while the familiar sound of the undead starts, assuring him that he'll not be alone for the time being. He quickly turns on his hand chainsaw. To his surprise, the first deadite was not a human, but a pony rotten to the core. The dead pony, standing now in front of him, menacingly states, "I'll chew on your soul." Ash takes his trusty sawn-off shotgun and points it directly to its face as he deadpans, "Chew on this." As expected, the horse's head explodes. He puts himself in fighting stance, waiting for the undead to come. A deadite approaches him with all the bad intentions. So, he makes a move to counterattack, the bloody tornado, which consists on him to spin with the help of the blood on the floor and twist rapidly, cutting most of the heads, limbs, etc. On a 1-meter radio, he cuts the deadite's head instantly with the raw of the chainsaw. Ash stops in action, eyeing the monsters ahead. "Come on, let's dance." The deadites stare at him wide-eyed as one of them questioned, "Who are you?" Ash smirks, "Your worst nightmare." Ash's patience fades away as his bloodthirst starts in a warcry which the deadites fear instantly. Ash runs at full velocity, using a tombstone to gain altitude, making a movement, the hammer, while on air as he aims at the deadite with his chainsaw to cut him on half. Quickly, he takes out the shotgun from its resting place as he aims for the closest deadite on sight, blowing his head off, making the corpse kneel before the king. Another deadite attacks Ash. So, Ash receives the deadite with a movement called Slaying Neck, which consists on him jumping to an inclination of 45 degrees with his hand chainsaw aiming for the neck. Ash slays it, screaming gore as he forces the chainsaw through the pony's neck with the force of his falling body. Instantly, a deadite takes advantage of his position, but Ash, proving quicker, he receives the deadite with the movement, Stabbing Boomstick, which consists on Ash stabbing the chainsaw on the enemy's belly, and blowing the enemy's head off with the shotgun. The deadites start to roar in anger. There is no need to keep waiting. So, all of them charge at once. His counterattack is this movement called Dancing Chainsaw, a combination between the movement Slaying Neck, Bloody Tornado and Stabbing Boomstick. Needless to say, that the heads roll like marbles, and no deadite lives. Ash twists his shotgun to the holder after the last movement, shrugging at the death corpses. "How about the apples?" After this words, a dead Pegasi takes him from behind, elevating him 20 feet, 6 meters. The Pegasi says, "I'll take you to your dead." Ash always hates when someone sneaks behind him. It makes him feel weaker. So, he invented this counter, blind slaying, which consisted on him focusing all his strength and speed on his hand chainsaw to spin his torso to cut an enemy. Ash falls again, but this time, he's ready to land. Ash rolls on the floor, compensating the weight balance. Ash looks back, but he doesn't like the sight. Before him, an army of Pegasi. "Ah, yeah, that was your brother. I'm sorry." As he laughs awkwardly, "There is only so much I can take," he thinks. So, he does what any man would do. Run like a little bitch. Ash runs like hell, entering some nearby forest to hide, making sure he turns off his chainsaw on the way. He stays still on the shadows. The Pegasi look around in a frenzy for him. One of them gets close to Ash's hiding spot, and it finds him. At this moment the Deadite turns around his head to alert the others. But Ash, quicker than a bee, covers the Deadite's mouth with his only hand, wrapping his arm around its neck, making a quick spin to break the neck. Ash then proceeds to hide the body in the bushes. Eventually, the Pegasus left. He leaves his hiding spot allowing a breath. Jesus. That was close one. Ash wipes the sweat from his forehead, and begins his journey to find the summoner. Maybe, if he heads towards the Deadite's direction, he would find them. The journey uneventful, except for the occasional wildlife running down the bushes, predators staring at him. Half an hour passes and there, at the distance, chaos, pure chaos. Buildings burning, Deadites killing innocent ponies fighting back, Pegasi using clouds to burn Deadites, and one in particular, a pink pony with fluffy hair using the cannon, to explode Deadites as support. She must be the most capable of them, he thinks. Ash makes his move, and goes to help the mare. But when he's near her, she fires at him. Luckily for him, he trips on a rock. Ash, face on the ground, doesn't move. Pinkie Pie approaches him, thinking he is dead and full of curiosity. Ash takes his shotgun quickly, and aims at her head. Surprise. I'm not dead, yet. Pinkie Pie gets confused. What is that? Ash nonchalantly explains. Oh, this, he chuckles looking at the gun. This is my. A Deadite approaches behind the mare. But Ash notices as he screams at the top of his lungs, boomstick, as he covers Pinkie Pie's head with his other arm. After a loud bang, Pinkie could only hear a beep on her ears. She looks behind her to look at a dead pony on the floor. Pinkie then looks back at Ash, surprise in her eyes. Ash looks at her and asks, "You okay?" She nods gratefully. "Yeah, that was a close one. But could I ask you a favor?" Ash gets confused. "Yeah." Pinkie then replies, "Could you stop hugging me? You tend to smell funny." Ash then jumps back. "Yeah, sure, I was just making sure. You okay?" Lie. He was comfortable. She's fluffy after all, and smells like candy. The mare smiles, extends her hoof in a shake hands fashion. "By the way, my name is Pinkie Pie." Ash grabs her hoof, and made a strong shake. "Name's Ash, pony girl." Pinkie Pie replies coyly, "Haha, I know silly. I read the introduction." Ash chuckles and lets go of her hoof. "Bonk, someone is writing about me now. Great." Pinkie Pie replies playfully, "Oh, don't worry. I'm pretty sure everything is gonna be alright." The Deadites are approaching. Ash takes notice as he puts on his poker face preparing his shotgun. "We'll leave introductions for later. We have unfinished business here." Pinkie nods as she gets at her pink cannon. With a boom over here, a flying piece of a Deadite over there. Heads explode and making gray matter go everywhere. A massacre all over the place. I think a pony somewhere reveals the secrets of her stomach. Nearby. Looks for said pony. Oh, yeah. She is. Gruus. Ash slashes a Deadite in half, while shooting in another direction to a hellspawn. Ash stabs a Deadite with his chainsaw as he boomsticks the poor bastard. Pinkie on the other hand, delivers a present to a confused Deadite who then proceeds to open it, just to find a boxing glove. Apparently, he managed to get in time, before everyone got murdered or turned. The remaining ponies were confused, and they were staring with horror at the massacre. Ash stares at as did. Some ponies look at him surprised as they exchange commentaries. "What is that thing? Or it has to be the responsible for this. We should get rid of it." Ash patience is ruining Loso and the pony who said the last sentence. Ash directs his anger to the pony, yelling towards the pony, "Listen now, you little savages." Somebody in the crowd mumbles, "But you look more than a savage than us." Ash ignores the comment. "I'm here to help you, whether I want it or not. You better let me handle this without trouble or..." He takes his gun. "This is your other option, so, what'll it be?" The ponies in front of him stared at him struck dumb, scared, incredulous. Some were unfazed like expecting the worst. Ash smiles and waves them goodbye. "Come on, Pinkie. Lead the way." The crowd all confused, stare as Ash leaves with Pinkie. Pinkie stares at Ash for a moment. When they were in front of the library, "Did you really have to be such a meanie pants?" Ash didn't really like when someone questioned his judgment. "Mind your own business, Cupcake. I know how to handle a crowd. It has worked many times before." Pinkie got mad. "This is my business. These are my herd and you have no right to just be a threaten them." Ash smiles at her slowly coming closer to her face. "I didn't ask to be here." He deadpans at the last sentence. Pinkie sighs. Okay, I get it. I really do. But you gotta stop being so mean. It's just not right. You know." Ash stares at her like thinking about it. Pinkie pressed with puppy eyes, pretty pleased with frosting on top. Ash shrugs and pets her mane. He couldn't keep mad at such a cute creature. "Sure, but if this happens again, I make no promises." Pinkie sighs once more. "Fine by me. Then, Pinky proceeds to knock the door a couple times, screaming in a cartoonish way, "Twilight! Open up, it's me, Pinkie Pie." Twilight opens the door so used to Pinky's antics, and receives her as best as she could despite her irritation. "Oh, hey Pinky. I see you managed to keep yourself alive." And Twilight notices Ash right beside Pinky. Twilight stares confused. "And, you are?" Pinky says quickly before Ash could talk. "His name is Ash. He is the chosen one the book talks about when you recited the spell to summon him." Twilight, now in a more welcoming tone, but with a suspicious way of speaking, starts to introduce herself. "Oh, I see. Well, my name is Twilight Sparkle. Can you tell me what's going on? I'm a bit confused. A bunch of zombies began to attack our village, and well, I don't know what to do anymore." Ash, trying to calm her down, tried to explain. "First of all, calm down, Twilight. I pass through this all the time. Second of all, where's the book?" Twilight answers hurriedly. "It's upstairs. I've been studying it, trying to get a solution, and the only solution appears to be you." Twilight looks at him pleadingly. "Please, help us." Ash chuckles. "Yeah, sounds about right. Every time, this answer." Ash looks at her with a carefree attitude, giving up on pulling her leg. "I don't know. Usually when I arrive a bookworm has already the solution. I'm only here to clean up." Twilight tries so hard not to get mad, but she failed after all. The fault is all hers. "No, what are we going to do? We are doomed." Pinky, with some hope in her eyes, to see her friend happy again, interrupts. "Twilight, please. We have to stop this. Apparently, Ash is our only choice here. We should give him a chance." When Twilight turned to see the floor to think about it, Pinky immediately looked at Ash in the eye, and made an expression of "Are you kidding me?" Ash, with her playful expression, answered with another expression, "I was just testing her. Don't you worry." Twilight turns in frustration to see him. He quickly deadpans. A voice in Twilight's head said, "Come on. You are Princess Celestia's protege. You're one of the most powerful unicorns on all of Equestria, and you're giving a bad show here. Let's give a small step, and see what happens." She cooled her temper, and in the most soothing tone she says, "Okay, Ash, we have to do something. What can we do in this situation?" Ash, staring at her in a was about time, started to formulate. "In all my travels, I took notice that the solution usually is on the place the Necronomicon was found, so we can always check there first." Twilight brought a hoof to her chin as she thought for a moment. "The Everfree Forest. I found it during one of my visits to Socorus. I got lost, and I found this particular tower. I felt some attraction, as if it was calling me. When I entered, a book was sitting on an altar. I barely contained my excitement. Because of my luck, I took it, and I made my way to Ponyville, to the point I forgot my meeting with Sakura." Twilight stopped for a moment, to summon a glass of water, which she proceeded to drink. "I didn't mention it, but she is a mess. Her mane altered, bloody as her skin. She looks tired. Once she gulps the last drop of water, she clears her throat. I couldn't understand a word at first, but with the spell, I managed a translation. Apparently, it was some kind of old magic that only uses words, stimulating the magic that surrounds us. So, when I pronounced the words, something really bad happened. A bunch of dead ponies started to attack the village. At first I thought it to be a raid. But, when I looked at the ponies, I freaked out, so I read the book as fast as I could, trying to get a solution." Twilight drops a tear, looking down and then up to Ash. She continued, "It took me about an hour to find something, but only made it worsened. I had to." Pinky saw what was coming. She knows that Spike didn't make it. So, with all her velocity, she hugs Twilight as she starts to cry. "That's when I found the spell to summon you, and I really hope you can help us, Ash." She wipes her tears as a new fire rebirths on Twilight's heart. She stared at Ash with resolve on her face and a spark on her eyes that screams justice. Ash is not the type to make a girl wait, especially when they were this passionate. Ash nods. "Okay, but we need some preparations first. This is not child's play, and we'll need all the help we can get." He points to Twilight. "Make sure you bring your finest warriors." Twilight nods, and disappears on a spark of magic. Ash stares at Pinky and nods. Pinky gallops out of the door, closing it behind her. Ash, all alone. He doesn't remember the last time he was left alone. Maybe he could take a nap. Ash starts to walk on the living room, taking a sit on the couch. Exhaling, Ash starts to fall asleep, until he hears a noise upstairs which startles him. Maybe he isn't alone after all. Ash begins to go upstairs as the wood squeaks each step. The room is poor lighted with a candle, and the place is a mess with papers and books all over it. But what really caught Ash's attention is the Necronomicon on Twilight's bed. Ash stares at it for what seemed like an eternity. The book starts to pass pages as fast as a money counter. Ash feels weakened, his vision turns blurry. He tries to comfort the pain in his head with his only hand as he starts to have a mind trip to God only knows where as he falls to his knees. The world spins around him, and his vision blacks out. Ash wakes up, and he looks around. Where the hell? Ash knows all too well this place. Oh, God. No. He panics. Not here again. He's sitting on a rocking chair. This can't be. I have to be dreaming. A muse head stares at him. No. The cabin. He's back. Chapter 2. The Ever-Free Forest. Ash jumps, as a noise from the basement startled him. That doesn't sound good. Ash reaches for his gun, but he doesn't feel it. He panics. This can't be happening. Did he just went back in time? What is going on? He starts to freak out. That basement didn't bring very pleasant memories. But he doesn't have a choice. So, he starts to walk slowly, carefully to basement's entrance. The head of the moose on the top of the fireplace stares at him in expectation, following across the room like a vigilante. Ash stares at the moose back, but Ash tries to ignore it. He's getting closer and closer to the basement, as the moose follows him with its eyes. He finally gets there, standing in front of the little wooden door. He hesitates to open it as he remembers all the bad stuff from back then. The moose laughs maniacally at Ash's memories. Ash tries to ignore the moose as he opens the door, only to be met with darkness. Ash stares at it for a few moments thinking whether or not to enter. The moose intensifies his laugh. Ash can't think straight, so he just takes a step on the first step. The moose stops. Ash looks behind him. The moose just looks lifeless as it should. He starts to descend, remembering he used to smoke. He takes out a lighter to make way. Step by step, he goes into the unknown. When all his body, toe to head, is in the door closed, he gets startled, looking back at the door. Maybe I shouldn't have. It's too late to regret. He continues on. When he reaches the floor, he remembers the tape about the dead wife on the basement. A grandma appears right in front of him, smiling knowingly. I hope you haven't forgot about us, Ashley Williams. Ash tries to play it cool. How could I? The grandma then smiles wider. That's good, really good. Follow me. The grandma then turns and walks away. Ash, hesitant, goes behind her. Pinkie Pie is poking Ash's body with a stick, to search for a response. Ash doesn't respond. Pinkie looks at her friends. Do you think he's okay? Twilight responds, he's just sleeping. But we're running out of time. Try to wake him. Ash and the grandma enter a small room covered in spider webs, and at the center of the room lies an old filming camera. 2 chairs on the side. The grandma motions him to take a sit. Take a sit, dear. Ash complies as the grandma sits on the other chair. We are going to watch a movie. Ash couldn't respond anything as he sat at the cabin again. What just happened? Well, he wasn't going to find out. Much to his luck, it is broad daylight. He wasn't going to let this opportunity slide. Ash makes a run for it, but then behind him, the evil spirit. He starts to run from it, avoiding trees trying to block his way. But it's not enough. The evil spirit takes possession of Ash as he flies through the woods, until Ash hits on a tree. Ash stays still on the ground for a moment unconscious. He sleeps all day until night. The darkness goes again. Trees begin to move. Fog covers the ground. Deadites can be heard. Ash wakes up, and he feels oddly powerful, almost electric. He stands up and looks around. The Deadites? He feels oddly calm, and looks at his only hand, a spark. He breathes as he closes his eyes, and he leaves the power to take over. The 6 ponies around Ash started to look at each other. Rarity asks the Twilight, what is a Twilight? Twilight answers with a sigh. His name is Ash, and he is the chosen one. The one supposed to stop the evil. Twilight looks at Ash's face for a moment. I believe in him. Rarity does not agree. I don't know Twilight. He looks gross and he smells. Pinkie Pie agrees. Well, he does smell kinda funny. But I fought at his side. He really knows how to do it. Applejack jumps in. Rarity, he does look muscular. Believe me when I tell ya, when I see a strong fella. Rainbow Dash agrees with Applejack. Come on Rarity, give him a chance. They all start arguing, except for Fluttershy, because she didn't like trouble. But she notices Ash's body emanating some sort of power. Red fog comes out of his nose every time he breathes. Fluttershy tries to tell the girls, girls. But she failed since her voice low compared to the noise they are making. However, it didn't stop her from trying louder. Girls. Another failed attempt. She loses her patience, and with a boost of confidence yells, girls. They say in unison, yes, Fluttershy. Flutters points to Ash's body. Look at him. All of them turn their attention to the red aura surrounding him. Applejack screams in perturbation. What in tarnation? No one else had the time to say another word, because, as the last word left Applejack's lips, an immense power sent everyone flying through the ceiling, and into the bottom floor. The only one strong enough to maintain on that floor is Rainbow Dash as she struggles to not get pushed on the release of power. Her face cheeks move furiously as she flaps her wings trying to maintain her position. Once the release stops, Rainbow Dash, the only pony who could watch what happened, takes notice. Ash looks red, more muscular, and some little lightnings of power cross his body sporadically. Rainbow Dash stares at him in confusion. She calls her friends. Guys, come over here, quick. Twilight could hear Rainbow Dash as she recovers from the fall. Pinky is backwards, but with a quick movement, she puts herself in four again. Applejack is helping Rarity to stand up, and Fluttershy couldn't be seen anywhere. Pinky takes notice. So, she let the other ones know. Oh, my sugary lord. Where's Fluttershy? All the ponies around Pinky take notice as well and they start to look around the mess. Rarity approaches a vase, and she sticks her head in it. Fluttershy, where are you, darling? Sorry. Pinkie Pie takes notice, tries to hide her laughter. Applejack is walking around the library in search for her lost friend. Fluttershy, come out wherever you are. Pinkie, on top of a book mountain, hears a little voice asking for help. She puts her hoof inside the books, and like a rabbit in a trick show, she gets Fluttershy. Fluttershy as heavily breathes, and looks at Pinkie Pie with a weak smile. Thank you very much, Pinkie. I don't know what could have happened if I kept down there any longer. Pinkie laughs and replies matter-of-factly, you could have choked by the lack of air. But, anyways, you are welcome. Once she finished that last sentence in a sing-sang voice. Fluttershy stares at the reader with a face saying, she is kidding, right? Ash slays the deadites around him with his bare hand. He takes them by the throat, and turns their throats like sticks. His bloodlust becomes evident as he takes their spine and Ash starts using it as weapon, swinging it around like a madman. He reaches for his gun. This time, it's there much to his relief. His double barrel looks demonic. The gun now is capable of shooting lightnings every time he presses the trigger. The power alone makes multiple ponies explode. Every piece of them goes around in a rain of blood. Evil trees do not stay out of the battle as one of them grabs him by the torso looking to destroy his ribs. But Ash takes its fingers and breaks them one by one, until it let go. When he lands, he aims his trusty sawn-off, killing the tree as Black Savior reigns. The deadites are the last of his problems as the forest itself attacks. He gives no barracks as he shoots his gun. Destroying every tree, leaf, deadites, all receives a dose of pain. Finally, while fighting the last horde, he finishes the last one, kicking it on the floor, pointing the gun at the beast and shooting it. The shot covers him on blood. Demonic Ash looks at the dead pony and screams to the heavens in challenge. The transformation runs out after the scream. Ash looks confused at his environment, then at himself. He is covered in blood, and on his surroundings, there are lots of dead deadites. Twilight is carrying a glass of water with her magic. When she reaches Ash, she pours its contents on Ash. Ash breathes like he's missing air, and looks around, like he isn't wet. The 6 ponies look at Ash, but this time in surprise, hope, and expectation. Twilight takes the lead with the question, what happened to you, Ash? You didn't tell me you could do that. Ash is confused. Say what again? What did I do? Rainbow Dash yells all excited. The thing. The transformation you made, while you were sleeping. It was so cool. How did you learn that? Ash really didn't get it. Hold on a minute. Are you saying I transformed? Twilight explains the situation to clear it once and for all. Ash, you were emanating some sort of power. Also, your physical appearance changed. Ash looks at her. Now that you mention it, I was at the cabin where all this started. I ran through the woods, and then I didn't know what happened. But when I regained conscience, there was blood, lots of it. All 6 ponies looked gloomy for a moment. Ash stares at them. Uncomfortable silence involving the environment. Fluttershy trembles. Twilight has a worried expression. Applejack looks at Ash in distrust, getting at the defensive by any movement. Rarity is disgusted. Rainbow Dash looks at him defiant. Pinky has a poker face. Ash tries to disperse the heavy environment and talks. Hey, listen. All the ponies get jumpy. Applejack gets to defensive position. Fluttershy gets behind Rainbow. Rainbow puts herself in defensive mode. Twilight prepares her horn. Rarity summons a diamond sword and Pinky gets her cannon out of nowhere. Ash puts his hands on the air, and with not do any harsh decisions on his face, he removes his chainsaw and shotgun far away from him as he tried to stop the retreat of the ponies with his only hand. Wait, hold on a minute. He points to himself to make a declaration. I'm not the enemy. I would never hurt anyone without a good reason. I'm not the bad guy and you know it. The ponies look at him, examining his words and face. He looks in concern and respires heavily. Twilight stares at Ash for a moment, and in accusation mode, she starts to deliver her response. You. How can I trust someone that turns into a demon? Ash tries to convince them again. I don't know what happened. Honest. Applejack talks this time. That's more reason. How can we know for sure we will be safe if you turn again in that thing? Even in your straight head you tried to choke me. Ash didn't know how to answer that one, and he proposes, if you don't trust me, then let me go to the forest alone to resolve the situation and I'll disappear forever from your lives. You won't worry about me anymore. Deal. He extends his hand for a shake to close the deal. Rainbow Dash slaps his hand with her hoof. How do we know that you don't work for them and you are just going to tell them our secrets? Ash starts to lose his patience as he makes his hand a fist to let them know he is frustrated. I don't know anything about you other than you are talking horses. For God's sake, just let me go. Pinky corrects, ponies. We're ponies. Ash backs her out because she got too near. Okay. Talking ponies. But please, you got to listen to me. I'm not the enemy here. And pointing to the window, Ash adds, those things out there are. And they are not going to stop until all of you are dead or worse. All the ponies exchange some glances. The ponies finally take a decision. Twilight takes the word from there, and tries her best to maintain a good demeanor. Okay, Ash, we'll believe you. For now. She changes to a gloomy expression as she says the last statement. We have better business than trying to figure out if you are one of them. She summons a pipe with tobacco as she lights it with magic, taking a good hit, smoking into Ash's face. For now, we are going to take you with us, and you're going to follow our every command. But if you try anything funny, Ash dismisses the idea with his hand in annoyance. Yeah, you'll kill me. I got it. Twilight smiles at him with pipe on mouth. Ash stands up, and he searches for his weapons, putting them on. He licks his lips, and puts a serious gaze. Alright, let's go. Twilight took the lead, and asked everyone, okay, is everybody ready? Everyone had serious expressions and they nodded in confirmation. Good. She looks at them with a grin. Let's go to the forest. A long trip await us. Twilight was leading the way into the forest, while the other ponies were covering Ash in an organized formation. The forest was creepy before this started, but this turned out to be worse. The moving shadows and evil-looking trees looked horrible. Ash got a bad feeling about this. The trees were moving, and he could hear the sound of the deadites around. From the bushes dead ponies started to appear as all the ponies present freaked out. One of the deadites said, give us the Necronomicon. Ash, going in front of the ponies, said, come and get it. Ash quickly took the sawed-off shotgun out of the holder, quick shooting the arrogant one. After that, the deadites begun to attack. Pinky took her cannon out of nowhere, ready to blow to pieces those zombies as Twilight made the magic flow from her horn, ready to make some powerful spells. Dash and Applejack ran into the horde bucking like crazy bulls. Rarity, with no other option than fighting, took a crystal that turned into a sword with her magic, and with a war scream she joined the fight. Fluttershy didn't know what to do. They were fighting already, and she was being saved by the others as they saw her in danger. She was being useless for combat. Dozens of them exploded to pieces by Pinky's cannon, and quick sparkles destroyed multiple ponies, courtesy of Miss Twilight. Rainbow Dash couldn't be seen anywhere but a quick dash, was ending with dozens of them. Applejack was removing heads with her bucking abilities. Swings of chainsaw breaking bones and multiple booms of the shotgun made skulls explode. One of them nearly took Twilight from behind, but Ash managed to bump into him with the chainsaw, while the shotgun blew its head. Twilight looked at him with surprise. She couldn't believe it. Ash had the perfect opportunity to get rid of her, and instead of doing it, he saved her life. Twilight stared for a moment to Ash's eyes. He did the same, until the sound of a deadites interrupted. After minutes that felt like hours of fighting, the deadite ponies were killed. They were exhausted, and when they were recovering some air, Twilight formed a question to Ash. Do you really do this all the time? Ash answered with a smile of irony. Yeah, what'd I tell ya? This isn't easy as it looks like. Twilight, smiling back, answered. You were goddamn right back there. I think we can really trust you, Ash. I hope I'm making the right decision. And looking to her friends, everyone nodded in agreement. Ash felt really relieved. Now, he got their trust. Pinky quickly took cupcakes out of her pockets. Here, eat this. It will restore your energy. She gave one to everyone, and she ate one herself. Everyone ate it quickly to restore their energies. When they ate the cupcakes, they felt revitalized. Ash yelled to the skies. Come for me, you maggot horses. I'm not afraid of you. Rainbow Dash joined the yell, hugging Ash with her hoof. Yeah, come here. We're gonna beat the minder out of you. Pinky yelled too. Yay. Come, we're waiting. Twilight joined them. Yeah, I will destroy you. Applejack didn't stay out of the play. I'll smash you like apples for my breakfast. Rarity got excited by the moment. You brutes. I'm going to slash you with my sword. Even Fluttershy got the spirit of the fighter. This time I'm going to make you pay. All the others got really surprised by Fluttershy's statement. Fluttershy saw them with a cute frown. Yeah, they were gonna regret the time they tried to hurt my friends. Everyone laughed as everyone followed Ash, who walked leading the little group. A while had passed, and in laughs everyone was forgetting the rough time Equestria was having, but the objective was still clear. On the distance a spooky-looking structure shows itself. At the eyes of Twilight this was seen. Opening her mouth to talk, got interrupted by Ash. That must be it. I recognize an evil-looking tower when I see it. Twilight got angry. Hey, I'm trying to talk here. I was the one to find the book, remember? Ash argued. No time for talking. I want to get out of here. I can't stand you anymore. Twilight made a rage spell. Me neither. Pinky tried to stop them once more. Come on guys. We have a world to save here. Ash looked at Twilight in a cynical expression. Pinky is right. Shut your mouth or I will make you. Twilight in rage argued. What? Who do you think you are? Ash stood in an arrogant pose and answered. I'm the chosen one, baby, and I'm telling you to shut up. Twilight with all her anger began to attack, smashing Ash with her horn. Ash received the attack on his stomach. Quickly, he grabbed her head with his right arm, and started to punch her with his left fist on her sides. She gave a quick buck with her free hoops, hitting Ash's head, causing him to bleed, while he fell backwards. Ash rubbed his head with his left hand, and saw the blood. This is serious business. He turned on his chainsaw, and posed a fighting style. Twilight prepared herself as her horn started to spark. Bring it on. Pinky stopped the duel, putting her between them. Applejack holds Twilight and Rainbow Dash holds Ash. Pinky talks with a pleading expression on her face. Please. Stop guys. I don't want my friends to fight. Or to lose them. Applejack, still holding Twilight from the imminent fight, agreed. Yeah partner. That's no way to treat a friend and a lady. Rainbow Dash holding Ash added. Yeah, Ash, not cool. I think you're a great pony, or whatever the hell are you. But if you're hurting my friends, then I'm not gonna hesitate on finishing you. Rarity and Fluttershy were watching in a passive mode, but their eyes were expulsing the poison and hate Ash's action provoked. Ash turned off his chainsaw as he stopped the struggle. Rainbow Dash left her effort for holding him as he walked his way to the tower. It's better for me to do this alone. I can't risk another fight like this. Besides, I always end up alone lately. Twilight quickly talked to Ash with an apology. Stop. I'm so sorry. I don't know what got into me. Please, don't go on your own. We can be useful on the way, and you just saw the amounts of zombies out there. Now, imagine the quantity of them in that tower. Ash looked at the ponies for a moment. All of them had serious expressions on their faces. He looked to the skies as memories of his first encounter with the evil started. The book, his girlfriend dancing as he touched the piano, and her return from the dead, people that died without mercy on his travels around the universes, and different enemies he encountered at the end of the world. He got his feet on the ground, once Twilight got close enough to touch him, and with consideration on her eyes said, I can't possibly know the pain you've been for all this time, but I can assure you something. We're getting through this together, and if we die, we'll be together as it should be. Ash stared at her eyes for a moment, and then looked at everyone else. He saw determination and courage on all of them. Then, looking at Twilight again, he added, Okay, it's okay. If you really want to come with me, let's go. He started to lead the way to the tower in silence. Chapter 3. The Castle of the Dead. They were close to the tower. But, something stopped Ash from going any further. He made some instructions, to hide quickly into the bushes as he pointed to the two big, dead, angry-looking minotaurs that were guarding the entrance. Twilight with calculating eyes made an observation. That's weird. They were not there before. In fact, the tower was empty, and it was on ruins. Ash said sarcastically, What were you expecting? Some fancy welcoming? She got angry. No. I was just saying. You have to improve your manners, mister. Ash looked to another side. Whatever. Rarity made a suggestion. We should make a plan, to get in without alerting anyone. Ash ignored the suggestion as he began to run towards the minotaurs. Twilight screamed after him. Hey, wait. You can't just go like that. As she started to gallop into his direction, Rainbow Dash got excited and exclaiming, Oh yeah, this is my kind of action. She flew into Twilight's and Ash's direction. Applejack and Pinky, without saying anything, joined. Rarity face-hoofed. Okay, I suppose, I can't really force you to do anything. She joined with Fluttershy afterwards. Ash jumped while tuning on his chainsaw, in the middle of the air. He makes his way down to the monster, and he stabs the Minotaur on its chest, taking out the boomstick to shot the Minotaur's head. But the Minotaur didn't flinch. Ash got surprised, and he got nervous. Hey, hello pal. You are not angry, are you? The angry Minotaur looked at him, eyes of rage, and with a guttural voice, it said, I'll swallow your soul. Ash, in desperation, started to hit the Minotaur with his shotgun on the hope that it got weak. but the Minotaur took him by his torso, smashing Ash into the ground. Ash yelled in pain as he felt something break. The Minotaur approaches Ash, ready to finish him, but the Minotaur saw another destiny, a nasty one. First, Twilight runs, taking with telekinesis, and jumping she uses the gravity force to smash his head on the ground as she sends him flying into the sky. Following, Rainbow Dash kicks with all her velocity the Minotaur's head, sending him once more to the ground. Applejack gets there and she jumps, bucking so hard, the Minotaur's head rotated on its own place. Pinky, behind Applejack, gets her cannon to finish the job with a great boom that made the Minotaur's head explode. The other Minotaur was about to attack, watching this, but it got slashed by Rarity's sword, cutting him in half as Fluttershy used something that no one of her friends knew she could do. Fluttershy made the stare on the Minotaur's dead eyes, and made it explode. Ash was on the ground with his mouth open in surprise. Then, he closed it slowly with his hand. Getting up, he stared at the ponies in awe. Twilight noticed this, and she makes a sarcastic smile. What? Surprised? Ash tries to not appear surprised and he says, coughing, yeah, not bad. Rainbow Dash got really excited. Are you kidding? That once? Awesome. Applejack got excited too. Hee-haw, partner. That's how we bark the trees on the farm. Pinky says, excited. It was super duper mega ultra fun. Rarity, in her usual tone, says, oh, darling, you didn't expect me to be a useless lady, did you? Fluttershy says with a kind tone, oh mister, where are the elements of harmony, after all? Ash just smiled, and with pleasure on his soul he said, okay, I'll admit it. It was good. Rainbow stared at him and exclaimed, are you kidding? Because? Ash puts himself in front the entrance. Enough of celebration, we ain't done yet. Rainbow stared dumbfounded and looked for support with Twilight. Twilight shrugs and declares, he's right, Rainbow. We can't afford to lose more time. Every second counts. As Twilight follows behind, then she searched for Applejack's support, but she joined in. She's right, Super Cube. Sorry. She tried for Pinky's, but she only followed behind. Rarity says, sorry, but they are right. Fluttershy tried to avoid to look Rainbow in the eye, and with a sorry, she followed behind. Rainbow, finally, defeated, decides to join. The structure was immense. Twilight opened her mouth in surprise, and an exclamation she said, oh, Celestia. This was not this big before. Ash was now disturbed. Hold on. Don't tell me you got it on the top of it. She answered with worry, yes. Oh, no. This is going to take forever. Ash frowned at the statement. Great. What now, smartass? Twilight answered, annoyed. Stop that. We'll find a way. Before Ash could say anything, Pinky pointed with her hoof. Look guys. An elevator. Everyone looked at Pinky's pointing hoof. It was a huge door. Enough to fit an elephant inside it. Twilight looked at it and sarcastically commented, how convenient. It must be a trap. Rainbow Dash said playfully, well, I don't see any other option, Twilight. Besides, every second counts. Isn't it, Twee? Twilight stared at Rainbow with her poker face. Touché. They were about to get in, when a dead manticore flies in front of them, making an intimidating pose, while looking very arrogant. The manticore said with her playful grin, where are you going, fellas? Fluttershy answered, hesitating as she smiles nervously, I'm upstairs. The manticore apologized, sorry, but you are not going anywhere. Twilight started to get pissed. Then, why did you even bother to ask? The feline started to laugh in amusement. That's not the point now. Prepare to die. Before anyone could make a movement, Ash pointed to the manticore's face. Hey, what's that in your face? The manticore stayed still, and with his claws started to pat randomly on his face nervously. What? Where? Then, Ash jumped to Manticore's head with the chainsaw turned on, cutting into its brain. The Manticore moved angrily. It looked like rodeo. Everybody stared with surprise as Ash endured the movements. He begins to scream to snap the ponies out of it. Anytime you feel like it. I will not last longer. Twilight started to prepare a spell with all her might as Pinky prepares some quick mixes to make better explosives. Once they got it all, they shot their power to the Manticore's limbs, proving to be effective, making the Manticore lose its limbs. In agony, the Manticore managed to say, you cheaters. Ash looks at as funny, ha ha. In war and love everything goes, baby. Ash shot his boomstick in the little hole he made with his chainsaw on the Manticore's head, ending the dialogue and its life. Everybody stares at Ash in surprise. Apparently, he has his own as on the sleeve. He puts the shotgun in the holder. I know. I'm a quick thinker. Twilight smiles. Yeah, it was amazing, but we have to keep moving. I don't want any other creature coming out of nowhere. Pinky agrees with the statement. You got it, Twilight. Ash nodded as they walked into the elevator. It was enormous. Everyone seemed to be amazed by it. How could it be so big? Twilight looks at her surroundings. So this is it. How do we get this started? Rarity got close to a lever, and pulling from it some chains that seemed to be holding the platform began to move as it started to go up. I got it. Well, I think we should rest a bit. This seems like a long way. Ash, looking up, said, "Not so fast, Miss Fancy Pants." Look, as he pointed up. Everyone listened to Ash's observation, watching dead Pegasus fly over their head and the quantity of them that seemed without end. Rainbow Dash said in annoyance, "Oh, men. Not this guys again." Twilight, with questioning eyes, said to Rainbow, "Did you fight these creatures before?" Rainbow looked at Twilight to answer, "Yes, at Clousdale, a swarm of those things attacked the town." They were interrupted when one of the flying deadites almost slashed Applejack's head, but it didn't got Applejack's hat. She got really angry. "Hey, calmer, you sneaky bastard. That was my favorite hat." She tried to chase it, but it was out of reach. She was angry and frustrated. But Twilight got it by shooting a spark that destroyed the flying deadite along with Applejack's hat. Applejack looks at Twilight with a funny look. Twilight looks everywhere with her eyes for a rude flea. "I'm so sorry, Applejack." "Sigh." Applejack just stares at her. "We'll talk about this later. There are other matters at Hoof." Twilight just gulped. Ash snapped them out of their conversation with instructions. "Twilight, Pinky, you can shot things from afar. I want you to destroy the most of them as you can. I count on you to make the job easier for us, since you are the most heavy fighters." They saw each other and nodded. He pointed Rainbow. "You, go and fly from a good perimeter that lets Twilight and Pinky shot and Liberty, and do your thing." Rainbow salutes and leaves a Rainbow Dash. Ash points, "Rarity, Fluttershy, Applejack, I need you to defend Twilight and Pinky from those guys. They are intelligent, and they will try to stop them." Everyone followed the instructions as Twilight shot to the targets, making them ashes. Pinky made them explode, and some of them got seriously injured with some third-grade burns. Rainbow flies with amazing pirouettes, hitting the deadites as she moves them to the explosions and Twilight's shots. Rarity slashed the deadites that tried to get near Twilight or Pinky. Fluttershy watching at the distance, making their heads explode. Applejack was bucking them so hard, because of her anger. She was leaving them completely dead. Ash was moving very fast, his chainsaw cutting in half the middle or simply stabbing to shot to the heads, making them suffer before dying. That was one hell of a waiting. Those dead Pegasus never ended. It was like if they just spawned ready for more, and the fighters were getting tired. They couldn't make this forever. Twilight was destroying with her horn some deadites and stated, "Ash, we can't do this any longer. We have to think about something." She got protected by Rarity on rage covered in blood. She said, "Yeah, I don't know if I could be like this any longer." Fluttershy, still in concentration making the heads explode, made an observation of her situation. "My head is hurting a lot. We have to do something." Applejack, still enraged, said, "Don't complain. Keep fighting. We have to endure." Rainbow could only be seen making the deadites fall to their dead, or hitting them near the danger. Ash, exhausted and still breaking bones, managed to say, "I know, but can't you see they are a lot?" Twilight made a sarcastic joke. "You don't say. It's what we are trying to communicate to you." Ash was thinking, what could they do while fighting? They were a lot. The ponies were already exhausted, and it appeared the end of their existence. Twilight suddenly noticed an aura coming from Ash, so she made some connections with her memories, and came up with an idea. "The thing, Ash. Do the thing." "The what?" "Turn into a demon, and slay all the deadites." "I don't know how." "Concentrate. Remember what happened in your dream." Ash stopped fighting for a moment, while the other ponies were covering him. He tried to remember his dream. Some flashbacks came to his mind, the basement, the sudden run into the forest, and the power. He concentrated as hard as he could. He was beginning to sweat, and to get covered in red mist. The inevitable happened, and he levitated between lightnings and power as he changed aspect into a demonic one. All the ponies around stopped their actions. Even the flying deadites stayed still. Ash looked around in anger, selecting a victim, looking for an enemy. A deadite dared to move, and his life ended as Ash took a shot with his shotgun, making the deadite explode by the power of the lightning. The deadites didn't wait for more, so they started to fight back. But their chances on surviving were zero. Ash was stronger, quicker, and madder, cutting in half some of them with the chainsaw, breaking some heads with one hit from the butt gun, lightnings making blow to pieces the deadites. A spectacular show of blood, a bloodbath. A vampire would be so happy to see so much blood. Even if Ash was making the most of the massacre, the main six didn't stay out of the game, making their part, eliminating the most they could. Rarity slashing like a crazy swordsman on drugs. Pinky was making the role of a bomber. Twilight making her spells, and watching the full destruction it caused. Applejack smashing like pumpkins with a hammer some heads. Rainbow killing with one hit her adversaries, because of the speed, and Fluttershy making heads explode like balloons. After some time the deadites didn't show up, leaving everyone very exhausted. Demonic Ash looked to the skies and screamed as he came back to normality. Ash was dazed and confused. Without any advertisement, he passed out. Between shades and fuzziness, Ash woke up feeling better now. He looked around. The main six were surrounding him, talking and joking. He stared in confusion. How could they be so happy after a massacre, when they are the authors of said atrocity? He tried to forget. Twilight saw him incorporate. Oh, hello, Ash. Hey, smartass. How is it going? Twilight tried to ignore the first words. Really fine, these are fun times. We were waiting for you to wake up. So, we could go for the last boss. Because according to the books I've had read, a final boss is going to be next, and we really need an extra hand, if I may, to help us out. Ash laughed for a minute. How cute, playing with the words like a child. Pinky joined the fun. Yeah, it's super fun, you see. Parangaracuta Makuro. If you want to Parangaracuta Makurazer, you have to Parangaracuta Makurazer. Before you go Parangaracuta Makuro. Applejack saw in a disoriented mood. Say what again? Oh you silly, it's Parangaracuta Makuro. If you want to Parangaracuta Makurazer, you have to Parangaracuta Makurazer. Before you go Parangaracuta Makuro. Rarity tried to. Oh, darling, it's pretty simple. Parangaracuta Makuro. If you want to Parangaracuta Makurazer, you have to Parangaracuta Makurazer. Before you go Parangaracuta Makuro. Applejack tried with no success. Parangaracuta Makuro. No. Parangaracuta Makuro. No. Dem fancy words. Applejack covered her ears on shame. Pinky laughed in her silly nose laugh as the others joined in guffaw. Ash was happy now. He knew the reason of life. That Pinky is so damn good at her thing. Twilight stood up. Okay everybody, let's move. We have a train to catch up, and the time is running out. Rainbow Dash smirked. Really? A train analogy? Wahaha. She ended up on the floor laughing to death. The others did too, and Twilight felt ashamed. Rarity tried to give her some cheers. Oh, come on Twilight, we're all having a good time here. Twilight relaxed for a moment, and smiled to Rarity. Thanks. Rarity gave her a warm smile. You're welcome, dear. Anytime. Ash retreaded the lead. Alright, let's move. I feel like kicking some ass now. Rainbow joined the statement. You listen to the boss. Let's bounce. Twilight saw the opportunity and smiled. Really, Dash? Your good words are very offensive. Rainbow couldn't help but hoof. Twilight? That's like the stupidest joke I've ever heard. Twilight tried to defend her joke. Oh, come on. It's a good one. Fluttershy disagreed. I mean, no offense, Twilight, but it kinda, little, messed up. Twilight frowned in her place. Dash tried to cheer her up. Just stay with the sarcastic jokes. They suit you better, Twilight. But I think we are moving from the real thing. Let's move. Before Twilight tries to kill us with bad jokes. Twilight smiled in a sarcastic way. Very funny, Dash. But you are right. We have to move. Ash was almost at the giant door near the end of the corridor, some steps farther than the ponies. It was about time. Lady, I've been waiting for years for you to come. Pinky exclaimed in an exaggerated exclamation. Oh, come on. What a party pooper. Ash apologized. Sorry, lady. I'm here just for business now as he opened the great door, letting a smell of rotten corpses involve the environment. Rarity quickly covered his nose letting reclamation go its way. What a terrible smell. I'm not going inside, not even for all the gold of Equestria. Applejack quickly pushed her inside the room making her fall near a corpse of a pony obviously rotten to its brain. Oh, don't be so girly now. We have a job to finish. Rarity stood up quickly and exclaiming, how rude of you. I felt near a corpse. Do you know how disgusting that is? Applejack defended herself. Come on, Rarity, we just left thousands of bodies in the elevator, and you were covered in blood, before we got here. Rarity realized, yeah, I know. What a horror. Ash got mad. Oh, come on. Could you two cut it out? We are in some serious business here. Ash pointed to the pony who was sitting in the middle of the room, surrounded by the bodies. It looked black, slim and it had a bug kind of form. All the ponies felt nervous and angry. It was only one creature they met before that had these characteristics, the queen of the changelings. No mistake. She was in the middle of the room sitting in loneliness expecting for someone. Ash interrupted the heavy silence. Hey, you, ugly. What are you doing all alone? There was no response. Ash approached the queen who was looking to the space, smiling in an evil way. The queen was now looking at Ash in his scary dead face. Hello, Ash. Long time no see. I have never seen you in my entire life. I would remember someone as ugly as you. The queen smiled in awe. That's so rude of you. Remember, that time I used the TV show to expand my little army of deadites? Ash smiled sarcastically. Yeah, how could I forget? You interrupted my happy time, and I had to kill the bartender. The queen laughed in a voice combined with a guttural and then after dead sound like, ha 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 ha. I see you didn't forget me. Ash felt pissed. How could I forget? You used that fine girl to manifest. The queen laughed her ass off, ha 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 ha. Poor little Ash, in love of another girl. Whatever happened to Linda? Ash was in anger now, and he pointed to the queen. Don't you dare to bring Linda into this conversation. The queen smirked. Ash was so pissed, starting the fight with a quick swing of the chainsaw. After turning it on, the queen only laughed more. The chainsaw appeared to be hitting the objective. But the queen was not even a little hurt. The queen putted in front of him at a high speed. You are so slow, little Ashley. Too slow. The queen then bucked so hard Ash in the mouth, making him lose some teeth, and making him fly to the other side of the room, only to be catched by the queen's horn, drilling his heart. The queen smiled cynically. Oh, poor little Ashley. Are you in pain? Let me help you with it. Then the queen prepared a fatal spell that would make his body blow to pieces. But Twilight teleports just in time to tackle the queen with a shield made by her magic. Leave him alone, devil spawn. Ash's body went limp to another direction. The queen smiled in shadows. And I haven't forgotten about you, little Twilight. Then the queen quickly gave her a buck, breaking the shield and smashing her head on the ground in a bloodbath, leaving Twilight out of combat. Rainbow Dash then flew to their direction at full velocity, ready to hit with all her force the queen. But the queen was faster, so she bucked hard, Dash sending her to the skies, only to throw at her a greenish laser that were blocked by Fluttershy's mind in an effort to stop the imminent death of her friend. The queen seemed fascinated. You used your mind, huh? I cannot let you live for longer. But you're going to be interesting. The queen moved to Fluttershy's back in a blink, and then backstabbed her with her long and black horn. Well, I didn't expect this to be so easy. Applejack, Rarity and Pinky attacked in anger. Applejack bucked the queen and Rarity stabbed the queen with her sword as Pinky shot the cannon so near that everyone's view went black as a dense smoke surrounded everything. You are so slow. The queen came out of nowhere, returning Applejack a hard buck. Rarity a stab to her belly and Pinky, the last one standing. The queen smiled in a devilish way. So, you are the last one. She prepared her horn as a green light and a black aura surrounded the queen. Pinky was static. The fear left her without a movement. A lightning came out from another direction, hitting the queen directly, making her magic fade away for a moment. She looked around with a wound on her face. What the buck? Who dared to attack my beautiful face? Ash was standing at some distance, already in the demon form. The queen saw him in hate and venom. You were supposed to be dead. Demonic Ash answered with a guttural and demonic voice. I am. The queen quickly went to Ash's direction, bucking him so hard, his head turned on his own shaft. Ash answered with a quick stab to the queen's black heart, shooting once more to her head. Blam! Half of her head blew to pieces. The queen was really mad. Come on. Raise my minions, and help your queen. All the bodies in the surroundings started to incorporate. There were thousands, the wastes of the queen's food. All the bodies screamed in an ugly way, letting their pain be felt. Ash started to hit with the guns, but the, now visible, queen's brain. The queen laughed in awe. You are so desperate. Ash was now smashing the queen's head into the ground, creating craters where it was hit. Pinky was very terrified. This was a monstrous fight. She could not do anything. But some bravery floods her heart, and with resolution she started to attack the Deadite army. She had to do it alone, so Ash could take care of the monster. The Deadites were ignoring Pinky, but her explosions were really giving some devastation. Ash was now even hitting to dead some Deadites with the queen. She was laughing of their effort to keep alive. Ha 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 ha, my little ponies. You're my toys now. There is nothing you can make to beat me. Blah ha 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 ha. The queen then with her horn, made some powerful magic that involved her being making demonic Ash lose his hands, setting free the queen. Ash screamed in pain and rage as the queen was flying to another direction in awe, and screaming in happiness. Blah ha 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 ha. Poor little Ashley. Do you need a hand? She got a direct explosion from Pinky's cannon, causing more damage to the queen. But the queen didn't take this very well. Do you like to play dirty, little Pinky? The queen was already in front of her. Pinky could smell her decomposition state, and she was really scared of her look. It's my turn to play with you. Pinky didn't like the sound of that. Then she gave her a strong buck that sent her to the Deadite army. Minions, play with her too. The Deadite army was smiling in a devilish way, but Ash managed to catch her in the middle as he embraced her, starting to spin like a twist with his chainsaw turned on, making all the Deadites to stay dead once and for all. The queen didn't like the watch. You bastard. Pinky is supposed to die. Ash managed to answer, not on my watch. Son of a pig. This blood twist was now expulsing explosions, by Pinky's courtesy, making even more devastation, killing to the instant all the army left. Yay, this is super fun. The twist stopped, letting see Ash untransformed, holding under his left arm Pinky, who was happily laughing. It's over, Queen. I have won. Wahahahahaha. This has just begun. She wasn't kidding. Her other brain half started to regenerate at a high speed as a greenish aura involved her body, while all the blood involving the room started to move on her direction. I not only feed on love, but the blood and flesh of the fallen. Pinky yelled, "Oh, come on." The Queen not only was regenerating, but her body was changing into a bigger and stronger one. "You'll see my final transformation. You should feel honored." Ash only laughed. "Ha ha ha ha. You're uglier than before. I think I'm going to throw up." "How dare you? I'm gonna beat your ass in any form you have. Let's see." With that, the Queen, now in the form of a disgusting and ugly monster, started to shoot power from her mouth. Ash dodged the attack, jumping to another side. "Ha, and you're slower." The Queen really got mad. "I'm going to murder you. You don't have a chance, Pinky. Go and fabric the most powerful and dangerous explosive you ever made. I'll distract the Queen. We're going to see some fireworks tonight." Pinky nodded and saluted Ash. "You got it." Ash started to move his arms up and down, capturing the Queen's attention. "Hey, ugly. I'm right here. You can't hit a target, even if it were your ass." The Queen got really mad. "You'll pay for that," sending a lot of mist, corpses, green power and blood. Ash managed to dodge every single attack. Meanwhile, Pinky was on an unpacked laboratory creating something nasty, something that would blow to pieces the whole Canterlot. She was at the final steps, when Ash screamed to her, "Is it done already?" Pinky answered, "Almost done." "And it's done." Ash answered happily, "It was about time. Quick, use it on her." Pinky didn't agree. "I can't. This is so powerful and dangerous that could destroy the entire tower and leave a crater on the ground once it was standing." Ash yelled in frustration, "Pinky, you took this very far. How are we supposed to beat this witch?" Pinky thought for a moment. Ash was really agitated, and the Queen was still trying to hit him. Pinky was now thinking with a hoof on her chin. Ash dodged a green power that almost hit him. Pinky was now thinking with her bubble pipe. Ash screamed impatient, "But for today." He dodges another green power. Pinky, now with the spotlight on her head, screamed, "I got it. A timer." Then she got out of nowhere one that connected quickly to the bomb, putting 12 minutes. "We have 12 minutes to leave, or we are going boom." Pinky extended her arms to the sky, imitating the explosion. Ash got really freaked out. "Pinky, what have you done?" Pinky got excited. I just condemned us all." "Wait a little, tiny minute." Pinky took a hoof to her chin, creating some connections. "Oh, sorry." Ash had to think quickly. "No time for a discussion. Quick, take everyone and let's get out of here, before we blow to pieces." Ash takes the body of Twilight, that was the nearest, and Rainbow Dash. Pinky got on her back. The other 3 ponies left. "No, they are heavy." Ash replied, "Don't complain. This is your entire fault." Running, he dodged some attacks of the Queen, who screamed in rage, "You are not going anywhere." They got out the room, closing it behind them. Ash ran at his full limit. "Run, Pinky, run." Behind them the door blew to pieces, letting see an angry Queen. "Come here, my little toys." Pinky got freaked out. "Holy buck. She is just so creepy. It gives me the chills." "Brrrr." Ash replied at the knowledge. "Tell me about it." The long corridor felt really endless. The Queen was hunting them without a rest on the hall, destroying everything at her step. When finally the light at the end resulted on the elevator, "We are here. Shoot everything you got," against the Queen to back her down. The other ponies, that were unconscious, were let aside as Pinky and Ash shoot their arsenal. The Queen had to stop. Pinky's explosions were hurting her really badly. Ash quickly pulled the lever to descend. But the elevator didn't work. Ash was very upset. "God, this was working not 10 minutes ago." The Queen entered the lair where they are, and with a face that let know her bloodthirst, said, "Oh, what's that, little Ashley? The elevator is not working." The Queen laughed in delight after her questions. Ash and Pinky looked at each other with worried glances. Pinky said with her eyes, "What are we going to do?" Ash answered, "I don't know." The Queen was still laughing, not to her joke, but to her victory. Pinky, suddenly without wasting time, got out of her pocket some cupcakes that she put on her mouth, starting to chew them at full velocity, and after that she started to kiss her unconscious friends, making them eat what she was chewing. Ash was looking in surprise, and the Queen stopped her laugh. Like if it was a miracle, the unconscious pony started to wake up, looking around confused by what was happening. "First Rainbow, what's that?" "Mom, it's time for school." Pinky held her head, squishing it in excitement. It worked. It really worked. "Yeah, Pinky. Where's Mom? Where are we? This is not home." Pinky laughed. "Auntie, you silly. We are fighting the Queen of the Changelings, remember?" Rainbow looked around in confusion, seeing first Twilight, who was now standing on her own, pawing her head from the butt the Queen gave her. then to Rarity, who was standing all confused, and holding her belly stopping the bleeding. Applejack was all dazed like on alcohol. Fluttershy was crying in pain on the floor trying to stop her bleeding. Ash was looking at her in hope. The queen then laughed again. Bwahahaha. I was worried for a moment there, but you don't even know where you are. Ha 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 ha. Twilight stopped her pawing, and looked at the queen in annoyance. Rainbow got angry, so she flew on the queen's direction, only to be smashed against the floor with one of the queen's big meaty hoops. You are one annoying fly. Everyone got on their senses. Dash was not moving a muscle and her bones seemed broken. Applejack got very angry. How dare you to crush Dash? We are going to avenge her. Now, she was running to her. Rarity got mad, and got two other crystals, that turned into swords as she screamed in rage. Twilight started to shoot sparks despite her headaches. Ash ran into the big queen's direction with resolution 2. Pinky shoots her cannon screaming in rage too. The queen laughed harder. Bwahahaha. You are nothing but cockroaches. The explosions and the beams were getting on the queen's head inflicting great damage. Applejack, Rarity, and Ash, despite their intense combat, they seemed so silly trying to inflict damage to the queen. She was so gigantic, that it was like punching a wall. The queen was trying to squish them without success. She was becoming slower by Pinky and Twilight's attacks. Fluttershy, who was still crying on the floor, looked at the fight from the distance, feeling useless like a used cloth. But some resolution, rage, and power inundated her heart, making her stand up. She got closer step by step, helping herself with the wings. Twilight and Pinky saw her moving to the combat. When she got closer, Fluttershy, where are you doing? You can't go with those wounds. She saw Twilight to the eyes in rage, feeling the power of the stare she was accumulating. So, she didn't argue no more. She was getting closer and closer, and then flying to the queen's eyes, she made the strongest stare she ever made. She even got to a whole new level. The queen was feeling the most incredible of the pains. Can you feel it? Fluttershy said in rage. It's the pain of all the innocent ponies you murdered to get that power. The queen was screaming in horror. No. Make it stop. Fluttershy was still looking at her as she started to laugh. That's what they said. But what did you do? You gave no mercy. That's what I'm giving to you. No mercy. You don't deserve to even breathe. Everyone else was looking in horror and awe. I'm sorry. No mercy. The queen's dead corpse fell apart, leaving behind all the other corpses. Fluttershy then at full velocity managed to get Rainbow's body, and holding her in the arms, got her ear near Dash's mouth. She was still breathing. That was a relief. Then, she got near all the others, that were together now. Twilight, still in shock, managed to say something. That was amazing, Fluttershy. Applejack agreed. Yeah, Sugar Cube. You save us all. Rarity nodded. Simply delightful, my dear. Pinky in a burst of energy hugged Fluttershy. That was super duper incredible. Where did you learn that? I'll throw you a party to celebrate. Ash said, smiling. Yeah, well done. But we gotta get our asses out of here. Then he pointed to Pinky. This smart ass over here made a bomb that is going to explode in about. He looked at his timer. 2 minutes. So we better leave. Now, everyone looked at Pinky in disapproval. Pinky felt ashamed, but she didn't lose her jokes. Upsy. Twilight moved the lever with her magic. Well then, we better leave. The elevator started to move as Ash and Pinky dropped their mouths back. And what? Ash mumbled. Stupid elevator. The descending wasn't long as before. Apparently the entire tower was under the evil power of the queen, making it bigger and full of atrocities. But once she was dead, the tower was even falling apart slowly. They got out running like hell. There only was 1 minute left for the great boom. Plenty of space was between the tower and them, when it made what everyone was expecting. A sound of a great explosion was heard next to a big wave of dust and air that pushed away the running ponies and men. Twilight screamed to Pinky. You went too far, Pinky. The explosion got them dispersed. Pinky answered, I know. Everyone blacked out. Twilight suddenly awakened. It was daylight. Her body was so injured, and she was in so much pain. She could barely stand up. She looked around to find Ash and the others, but there was not signal of them. In the floor, next to her, Pinky was sleeping peacefully. Twilight thought, ha, Pinky and her crazy ideas. She awakened Pinky from her sleep and Pinky looked surprised. She moved her head in all directions, to see what wake her up. Then, she saw Twilight smiling weakly. Pinky returned the smile. Oh, hi Twilight. Are you feeling okay? Twilight answered weakly. No, Pinky. I'm in a lot of pain right now. Could you help me get to the town? Pinky nodded and helped Twilight. Sure, Twilight. But where is everybody? I don't know, Pinky. But I can assure you, that we will find them on the road. Both ponies walked to Ponyville. One seriously injured by the explosion and the queen's buck, and the other with her body hurting. They started to encounter the others. Pinky almost flies with emotion. Applejack, Rarity. You are alive. Applejack was helping Rarity to stand still. Yeah, Sugar Cube. We are. Rarity joined the talk. Of course, darling. You didn't expect us to die that easily, did you? From the bushes Fluttershy appeared with Rainbow Dash on her arms. Yeah, Pinky, did you? Rainbow was smiling. Everyone said in unison, Rainbow Dash? Yeah, that's my name, don't waste it. They were reunited once more. But they noticed something was missing, and Pinky was the first to know what it was. And where is Dash? Twilight made an observation, probably traveling to another dimension. That's too bad. I didn't even have a chance to make him a welcoming party. Believe me, Pinky, it's for the best. They saw each other once more. Alright everybody, let's head to Ponyville. Yeah, I could really use some rest. All the ponies walked slowly to their beloved town. They were entering the town and they saw all ponies working together to get the mess clean, putting corpses on a part of the town to deal with them later, recollecting the broken parts of the houses, brooming with magic. Most of them looked at the main six with odd expressions. From all of them, they were the most injured. One of them had ventured to question the 6 ponies. What the heck was all that? Twilight answered short and concrete. She wanted rest and get healed. Dark magic invoked by an evil book. Pinky joined, yes. And we stopped it with the help of the Chosen One. The stallion said in confusion, the Chosen One. Well, the man who stops these messes all over the dimensions. Lyra popped out of nowhere. Did someone say man? Yeah, do you know what is it? Yes. I knew they were real. Listen, Bon, the humans are real. She left trotting away. Twilight tried to disperse the uncomfortable silence. Well yeah, listen, I'm kind of tired, and I nearly got killed. I would like to go and rest please. I'll explain this later, after sending to the princess a letter and getting healed. The stallion stayed alone, and confused with his questions without answer. His wife gets close, and makes him keep cleaning with a stare. He obeys without hesitation. There is satisfaction on her face after her command being obeyed. In the treehouse Twilight looks at her treehouse. A total mess. And the feeling that something was missing. Spike, that silly dragon didn't make it after all. Fluttershy got near Twilight filling her feels. Don't worry Twilight, everything will be fine. Don't get too sad, it makes us feel bad. Rainbow Dash managed to say, yes, Twilight. The little dragon was brave, and managed to save you after all. Twilight looked from the floor to them. I know, but I can't get the feeling out of my chest. Everyone group hugged Twilight, except Fluttershy who was carrying Dash. Twilight felt pain, and wanted to be left alone. Please, girls, I need some time alone. Rarity looks at her and says, we understand. Twilight she turns, and looks at the girls. Come on girls, we must let her alone this time. There is nothing we can do right now. Everyone stared at each other, and left after Rarity through the door. Twilight watches as Pinky closes the door and sighs. What a day. Then she heads for the kitchen to start making some tea with magical herbs to alleviate her pain and restore her mana. Just when she is done she returns to her living room, all scattered with books and blood. She takes a paper and starts writing with the pen and ink from the table. Dear Princess Celestia, I'm here to inform you. The evil is gone, and all thanks to this particular character that literally comes out of the book. This book is the one that caused everything, and even if this mistake is all on me, I want to apologize. The name of the character is Ashley. I don't know his last name, he never mentions it all along, and we have him to thank for. With his guidance we managed to beat the evil. All was Chrysalis doing. Somehow, she managed to acquire this power and trick me onto reading the book. Everyone is okay, except for Spike. The heavens forgive me, but I couldn't do nothing, and he gave his life to protect me. Heavens, I'm so sorry. I'm getting emotional. But it's just so painful, princess. Right now as we speak, my friends are headed for the hospital all badly injured, but regardless very fine. On the other side I have my tea. I know you told me to quit it, and seek real medicine, but this is just the thing I needed. You know Zebra's medicine is equally effective, if not most powerful, so forgive me for not following your advice. And you may wonder what happened to Ashley. Well, I don't know. He just disappeared, like if his work was far outdone. So, we can only hope he is okay wherever he is. Your faithful student, Twilight Sparkle. PD. We must talk in person and figure out the destination of the brook I have now on my power.
That's all, Zipsters! Like and subscribe.